If you're thinking to start your own AI automation agency, software agency, a design agency, or no-code, low-code agency, today I'll actually pretty much tell you how you can start. So you'll start as a freelancer and I'll tell you how to get your first gigs. Let's begin. If you're here for the first time, hi, I'm Jakob Wolitzki, co-founder of DataDoe, which is a 7-figure software agency where we focus on deliver custom software solution for Amazon sellers, vendors, agencies, and aggregators. In my free time, I like to teach people on how they can start their own businesses. So AI is booming. Actually, one of the most popular service businesses right now is AI automation agency. It's actually everywhere, especially with the AI gold rush right now. So in this particular video, I just want to share with you how you can get your first gigs, no matter if it's actually AI automation agency, a design agency, website agency, no-code, low-code agency, or regular software agency. Like, I'll tell you one thing, guys, this doesn't truly matter. In the end, it's just the tech agency where you provide proper solutions for your clients, what they actually are looking for. It can be the AI solutions, it can be a website, it can be a design. It doesn't really matter. Today, I just want to clarify how can you start. So eventually, if you're looking to build the agency, first of all, I highly recommend you to start as a freelancer where you're actually selling your own services, because there's nothing better and easier if you are the expert in the area that you try to scale and you are pretty much starting out. So if you are a programmer and you try to create this AI agency or the software agency, first of all, you'll be a freelancer who is selling your own services. So the first point, the first step is actually really needed. You need to develop a certain skill. So if it's programming, it can be creating a scripts, creating web apps. It can be done with the Python, it can be done with Node.js. If it's full stack, then the second programming language for front could be React.js, Angular, doesn't really matter. Usually actually clients don't even matter. If it's the AI automation agency, you can master building AI chatbots or integrating with the APIs such as ChatGPT or some video LLMs. I mean, there's tons of those things. You just need to develop a certain skill that later on you'll become a better. You'll become better at this. At some point, you'll hire subcontractors, contractors, your first employees, and then you'll become the businessman. What I'm trying to say here is that you need to develop a certain skill and you have to become an expert with that. When it comes to programming, also, I wouldn't necessarily say that, hey, I'm just a Python developer. I would double down, for example, and becoming a Django developer and then try to sell proper web apps with that, right? So it's Python, but then I'm also the expert in Django, and then I'm actually able to create a proper full web apps in the end. So that's the first thing. And then if you're in the position that you're actually about to quit your 9 to 5 and already start freelancing, then I assume that you already passed your first step, which is becoming the expert in a certain technology. The second step is something very boring, but unfortunately, this is the most important thing, is like you need to handle the legal stuff, meaning you need to start your own company, right? Depending on the country, there are a lot of different options. However, especially in Europe, there's something called a single person entity. And this is the easiest way to start, the easiest way to set up this. You can usually do that within a day. Even your accounting, you can try and do on your own. Although I actually recommend hire the accountant. I mean, if you have the single person entity, it's super easy and super fast and super cheap to actually hire the accountant. Usually monthly accounting varies from like $50 to $100 to handle that. So I definitely recommend to actually invest in this because it will save you a lot of headaches. Now, the biggest difference between the single person entity and the standard like LLC, which is limited liability company, is that if you fuck up something on the project, you're responsible with your own assets with that, like everything you own, right? Like this is the biggest, let's say, issue with that. And if you're actually getting on some serious contracts, if you're about to close like some serious deal with a bigger company, I would definitely recommend to actually start LLC. But like as a beginner, pretty much it's great to start as a single person entity. When I started, actually, I started and I was using single person entity for about 6 months. So that's like great start to get your first clients, get your first invoices sent. Now the step 3, I would say it's also like obvious, but like you need some kind of equipment. And for this, I would do the shortcut, get a MacBook. It just works, like especially for programming. I mean, it's based on Unix kernel system. And especially for the programming, like when I was actually coding as a child, I had a Windows, okay? I was playing on Windows. I was playing multiple games, but when I got into coding, I ran into a lot of issues, especially when I was deploying stuff, running stuff locally. It was just Windows. I don't know how is it right now, but like I remember I had the dual boot system and I was running Linux and Windows. And then every time I was actually coding something, I was just using Linux. It was just working much better. And then when I had job as a software engineer, I got my first MacBook, and oh my God, it was just so good. First of all, the MacBook is kind of combination of both too. So like everything works as it is on Windows, but like when it comes to coding, it's just perfect because it's the kernel of the system is based on the Unix systems. So the file directory and everything works like on the Linux. So that's why I definitely recommend you guys to pick the MacBook and just go with that. The next step is getting your first gigs. And here I'll literally cut the chase and I'll get straight to the point. I mean, if you run the service business, you need the clients. Now, how can you get your first clients? You definitely don't need to understand how to do sales, how to do marketing in like a very complex way. Like you don't need to read any like sales books, marketing books. You don't need to learn how to do Facebook ads, how to do Instagram reels, how to record YouTube videos. This is like literally, you don't need all of that in the beginning. When you're just starting out, you just need one person to say to you, and you just need to one client, one recommendation. That's it. As a business owner, I will tell you from experience that we tend to do a lot of productive work that is really not needed, and we think it's productive. So like, sometimes when I'm thinking about doing something, I tend to research a lot of things. I tend to create like a LinkedIn post and do a lot of various tasks that in the end doesn't really matter. So one of the biggest skill sets is that you need to develop is like just focus on the things that matter. What matter at this point when you're starting out is like you need to get your first client. Now, the shortest path that you can do to get your first client is pretty much leverage all of your existing network. So what I would do, and what actually I did, is when you're starting out, let's say that you're selling some chatbots or you're selling the websites. Let's focus on those two. You need to understand what problem are you trying to solve and what is the potential group that can use your solution to this problem, right? Like if you're selling the websites, actually chatbots and websites, they come very handy because they are solving two problems, right? Like if people are going to use some business, right? Like if it's the gardener, if it's like some technician or like a mechanic, those businesses, they need the websites because if I was about to go somewhere and I'm first always checking the website of this person. So this is kind of like a virtual business card. What problems are being solved by the website? I mean, first of all, lack of online presence, limited reach, ineffective branding, poor customer accessibility, difficulty to build trust, marketing limitations. I mean, there's a lot of different problems that the website is solving. And then additionally, a chatbot, this can be integrated to the website. It's also like solving a lot of issues pretty much through the chatbot. You can get the appointment. You can ask about the services if they are not properly listed on the website. You can ask some various questions like FAQ and answer right away. You can schedule a meeting, right? So like chatbot and website, they are solving numerous businesses problems, and you can pretty much now have the understanding what problems are you going to solve. And now you just need to think about the potential audience that you're about to sell your services to, right? Let's focus that it can be the car shop, it can be a technician, mechanic, and gardeners. It can be even a hairdresser. It can be a tattoo studio. There's a lot of different businesses that pretty much every business, I would even say, need those too. Now, having this in mind, what I would do is like I would use my network. I would reach out to all of my friends and tell them about the services that I'm trying to offer, about the potential customer group that I'm trying to reach, and ask them, hey, do you know someone who is actually running the tattoo studio, who is the technician, who is the gardener? Do you know anyone? I'm just trying to get my first clients. I just opened my business and I'm offering those solutions. I'm willing to do that for free just to get my first client and just to get my first testimonial and project to my portfolio. And I guarantee you that some of your friends, they know some other friends that actually are connected and are running those businesses. So like I would definitely do that. Ask all of your friends, ask all of your family for this. And there's no limit really here. Like you can get at least a couple of first potential clients from it. And if you don't manage to really get any gig out of that, which I really doubt because you're literally offering to deliver value for free. So it's like deal breaker. But like anyway, if you don't manage to get anyone from here, I would like expand this outreach. So I would reach out to my previous employees, my previous colleagues from other jobs and do that. In their networks, there should be definitely someone. You can actually use your university network. If you have like university forum or Slack, I would definitely post about your business over there. Definitely use your social media, Facebook or Instagram. Even if you're just about to start and you have just a typical private page. It's like not a business page. You can literally create a story. Hey guys, I'm like right now opening my business. I'm offering this and that to those businesses, and I'm offering the referral bonus if you guys recommend me. And this will really work. I mean, I remember I literally did this Instagram story, and my friend who was working for a client that we still work to this day after 5 years, it's actually a client, it's called Wunderpen. He actually recommended me to his boss because his boss was trying to do like some pilot project. We've built them a special web app for pennies, and then this friend, he got, I can't remember how much was it like 20 or 30% just of the referral fee. So like if you're offering already this, like there will be people who will definitely recommend you. Now, if you still are struggling, you still can't find any leads and you cannot close any deals, the next step that you can do is you can explore the local opportunities. Literally just open the Google Maps, search for all of the local businesses nearby you and try to call them. If cold calling is not working, because cold calling is really tough, instead of calling, if it's something that's quite close to you, you can create like a business card and you can go there and directly pitch your services, right? But like, first thing that you need to understand is like you should at least try to book the meeting with some kind of high manager or the owner. Otherwise, it's really not worth the struggle. If it's just a regular employee, they don't really care. They probably won't even tell their boss that you actually called or you came. So like that's something that I would definitely recommend. So it's literally like good old door-to-door sales, but with your services. And actually, this old style is really effective if you do it properly, because nowadays everyone is just doing this all automated like email marketing, spam, or cold calling on a huge scale. Like people really forgot how to do typical face-to-face sales. So I would definitely recommend you to do that. This is also what I did, and actually it really worked out. I was actually trying to pitch my services to local software agencies in Berlin, and I was just booking meetings with their founders. I was going to those offices, pitching my services, and we end up working with some of them on some of the projects. It didn't work out on like large scale, but this is pretty much sales. So like it's always the percentage of the closing the deal is super small. The next thing is I would definitely try go to local meetups or local conferences. If you are like in the city that does the conferences or the meetups, you should definitely go. And now one thing that I would definitely recommend is to think outside of the box. What I mean by this is if you're offering programming services, don't go to programming meetup, because most likely people who go there, they will try to offer already their solutions to other people. It's like you're pitching literally your services to the guy who is literally doing the same. It pretty much won't work. Like some of those people, business owners, they try to say, hey, let's collab together. But like from my experience, the percentage that this will work are super small. Instead, what I would do is I would do it for the meetups where your target customers are going, right? So if those are the tattoo studios, I would definitely go to a meetup where it's all about like arts or like tattoos, and then get myself educated in this topic, just so I'm not like typical random guy who is pitching my services. And then when there will be some kind of like networking break, I would try to meet those founders and then pitch my services. And trust me, but this is a game changer. Like this is how we are selling our services. We are going to the conferences where there are no competitors, that there are people just from specific industries and there are just no competitors. So I would definitely guide you to do this. Let's say that you actually did that and you found your potential client. What I would do to make sure to close this deal is I would suggest you to offer the offer that they cannot reject, okay? So something that you can literally work for almost free, for example, just to cover some costs. If you do it, first of all, like you're getting your foot in the door, okay? You're getting your first client, you can get your first testimonial, first project to the portfolio. You can literally start getting to the industry, ask for the recommendation, because if this person is happy, most likely he will or she recommend you to other business owners. So this is how you start your game, okay? And the next thing is, even if you lose on the first deal, you over deliver, you won't earn almost nothing. What I would do is next is try to upsell the client, okay? Because if he or she is happy, then most likely you can upsell things to, for example, this existing website or like the chatbot, like you can upsell extra functionality. And then you can just charge normally, okay? So this is how you get your foot in the door and how you start with your first clients. And then pretty much I would say is that you repeat those things, and then once you have a proper portfolio, let's say 3 clients, 3 testimonials, this is where you try to think about the additional sales and marketing efforts, which we'll be covering in the next videos. Of course, this is how you start your journey, and then at some point you'll start transition to the agency. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching this short video. I just wanted to really share some tips and tricks how I would do it if I would about to start right now my freelance business and at some point transition is to the agency. By the way, we just launched our new community called Agency Dudes. So if you are working 9 to 5, you want to transition and start your freelance business, or if you are a freelancer transitioning to the agency, I think this is a great community for you. We plan to launch the weekly Q&A sessions and overall just discuss strategies and discuss all of the topics around building the service business in 21st century. So if you like this kind of videos, also hit the like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what should I cover next. And thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I see you in the next one.